All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 670, exposing Tolkien and his Satanic Lord of the Rings Part 1. This is a huge video, almost an hour long, and obviously there's Part 2, so we're never going to get through even half of this today. This came out, 9 years ago, has about 25,000 views. Hell of a ratio on it, and it's from the Again Barbarian YouTuber, who I believe is some sort of religious teacher, perhaps a practitioner, that sort of thing. So that's why he so strongly believes in these things. So I don't recall.
He does not look like a barbarian. He looks like a wannabe rabbi.
I think that was the first. Wasn't that the first thing I said, Mike, when you came into chat? Was that I compared it to either a Jewish guy or an imam?
I was going to say a brother, but yeah, he does kind of look Jewish. That's right. Anyway, This is a long video, and hopefully he's going to make lots of references to Tolkien. I'm not an expert on Tolkien. I'm not a huge fan of Tolkien, but we all respect Tolkien for what he did, and we all know he was greatly inspired by his religion. And to call it satanic, it must have a different term to him, because to say it's satanic, like if you say anyone believes in Satan, that also implies they believe in God. So it's like a religion that's based off a religion. It's kind of weird. So you're rejecting God and accepting Satan, whatever that means. And I'm sure multiple priests across the Christendom have different interpretations of what it means to believe in Satan or to follow Satan, outside of the actual Satan religion or satanic religion, which is its own weird thing. So,
yeah, that was the one that I thought I was thinking of, like the actual satanic religion. Oh, you went back to the old one. Nice. The actual satanic religion is like a bunch of edgy emos that want to just commit debauchery and be weirdos.
Well, they are including socialist doctrine lately, so you can probably call them satanic.
Because they are inherently so. I don't want to pick up like the 1,700 time we talk about socialism, but it is impossible. Are inherently self-destructive, just like socialism.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna.
Well, that happens the moment you incorporate that dogma.
I'm not gonna rely too heavily on religious conversations. I'm not a religious scholar. Religion is one of the third out of top three things I don't discuss. I don't get involved in. I was taught Byzantine Ukrainian. My christening involved Bible studies, but that was a long time ago. I did go to Catholic school, so I do know a little bit, and I do remember some discussions on the King James Bible, the Old Testament, etc. So I'm a little bit different than the average North American Christian, I guess you could say. But that's it. So I don't remember much.
I would assume that what he's going to do would be equating or conflating Tolkien's use of European mythology with Satanism, because it's not Christian, instead of seeing that Tolkien married that with Christian themes, as the Snorri Sturluson Edda basically already did.
Yeah, and he
further.
He invented multiple, I don't know how many dozen languages to facilitate this lore of other folklore he's read and heard of, and sort of...
Or translated.
And coalesced it into his own version for telling stories to his kids. And that is the extent, I think, of his ambitions as a scholar and as a studier of language. He wasn't like this heavy-duty rabbi who wants to interpret the Torah or something like that. So
I think this, although Tolkien uses basically angels and demons, which are taken from the light elves and the dark elves, also mean the same thing later on, but has wizards and magic, but does not explicitly have Jesus. Therefore, it is satanic.
That is what's freaking me out about his. If you watch his other videos, like I just pulled one up and I watched the first minute. It's called 3 Reasons Why Modern Christianity is Satanic. And already, if you start saying that,
oh boy,
you're going to be stepping on a lot of toes. And the 3 points he has in his description is they hate the King James Bible. I don't know if they hate it. I don't think they care.
No.
2, they are evolutionists. I don't see how that's a problem, but okay. And 3, they are violent revolutionaries for Satan.
He's talking about the socialists again.
I don't know.
Is he
Who's he talking
about?
Is he talking about the Catholics? Yeah, because that I would agree with that. If he's talking about the progressive Christians, that's just a socialist denomination that masquerades as Christianity in order to lure people into joining socialism.
If that's the case,
it's not actually Christianity what they preach.
Well, if that's the case, he has to be very specific and a little bit more descriptive when he says that, because you can't just say modern Christians are satanic.
Yeah.
That's
imagine the progressive Christians basically as painting their cross in the rainbow flag and waving it around saying, hey, we're totally also Christians. Hey, come to us, come to us.
But I've seen that from more Protestants than Catholics or Christians in North America. So
yeah, they also tend to vote left. So
yeah, I've actually seen that recently on Twitter as well, with a lot of female pastors and vicars. So
yeah, we've had some that were caught drunk driving over the decades.
Oh my God. All right. Again, 9-year-old video. Don't know if this is his shtick anymore, but it sounds like he hasn't changed his tune recently. Anyway, let's see how far we get.
Do a video here on the subject of the Lord of the Rings, the writings of John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. And this is something that has been around for a very, very long time. I bought all these books and all this material and everything else when the big movies, the big 3 movies were coming out, these things here. I'll show all this stuff on film here as we continue. But I've been wanting to do this study for a long time, and it just keeps getting put off and put off and put off and put off. And I'm a bit of a detail freak. I like to get everything in and just make sure I have everything, every little point covered, and so it ends up taking me too long to put studies together. So this is one I just need to get it done. Honestly,
from the get-go, I would say good on him doing all this legwork, even if his conclusion is wrong or his premise, but he does seem to look into stuff. Yeah, because the way his library is organized, it looks like one that is actually being read instead of just a presentation library of, hey, look, I have lots of books.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter whether he starts off as a biased religious follower or a biased ideologue or whatever the case. There's always going to be a bias, and we get that. But it's so clear before we start that I'm glad he's taking this approach. It's fair. The problem is we've heard that from many other YouTubers, and
this is so much more than all of the other nutjobs do.
It's probably more. Yeah,
he's actually putting work into it. So good on that.
I hope so. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of because I thought, well, the whole fervor of the Lord of the Rings thing kind of died out, and then I saw that they're coming out with another one in the series. I don't even know what it is. But they're coming out with another one for this coming December.
What, you didn't buy The Hobbit?
Well, it's not died out
yet. You have all those books and you didn't buy The Hobbit?
That this stuff over here is all satanic. All right?
Wow.
It's paganism, it's witchcraft. There's no Christian symbolism whatsoever here. What Tolkien is symbolizing is Nordic mythology.
Oh, there we go. Oh my God. Nordic mythology is satanic, even though the entire point of Ragnarok is that the gods are usurped by what is essentially Adam and Eve. Thank you.
Basically Jesus. Balder is basically Jesus.
Oh,
everybody loves him. All things in creation love him, and he's so loved that they even let him out of hell again because he's just so cool.
Even then, even Loki felt bad about killing Balder. That's the best part.
Yeah, but
he's the absolute Gary Stu.
Can we think of
just like Jesus?
I'm trying to think of like the elves as being like angels, and the Father Christmas as Gandalf. And then you have like Super Father Christmas as what's his face?
Odin.
Well, that's the Norse. Yeah, I'm referring to.
But you know, Odin did come
Bombadil.
in winter to the children to bring them gifts.
Right. Yeah, that's the idea.
Riding Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse.
Saint Nicholas,
which is where you get the reindeer thing from. Or I think he had the reindeer at that point already. It's like,
yeah, there's the same with the Saint Volodymyr in Ukrainian Orthodox. There's always this father figure who comes by and celebrates the birth of the Lord. And that's what I thought Gandalf and Tom Bombadil represented.
Yeah. And the way it works historically is that the Norse Germanic faith was an animistic religion, just like the Native Americans had. Like you have the spirits of nature that you mainly interact with. There are also gods, but they play like second or third fiddle. That's what it was. And as time progressed, it was slowly more and more put in line or in parallel, in congruence with Christianity. Like the 9 worlds that you've probably heard of through the Marvel movies or something, they were not separate worlds. They were just the different environments you go through. You go into the forest, it's Vanaheim. You go into up the mountain where it's hot, where you have the magma, the lava going on. That's what was it? Muspelheim. When you go under the earth, when you go into the snowy parts, that's all the different worlds. They're all connected. They're all here. You can traverse them. That they were then split off into their own things. That is something that came much later, where there were literally different realms. That was to bring it in line with heaven and hell being different realms. That you can't just walk there. And the whole thing with the elves, that's just your animistic spirits, your spirits of the land that you interact with. And this distinction between light elves, Ljosalfar, and dark elves, which would be either Svart elves or oh god, I have forgotten half of the words. Dark elves or black elves. That distinction, which then became this angel demon thing, in congruence with those, like the ones are nice, the others are bad. That's a long process.
It didn't really become angels and demons. Those were usually seen as separate things. They were seen more along the lines of fairies, Sicily and Unseelie.
Yes, that's how it went in Ireland.
Fair enough.
All right.
These things did all this process in different ways, and you have different remnants of all of this.
Okay. Either way, none of these can be properly associated with Satan or an interpretation of the devil or whatever this guy's trying to say. This is a very nuanced term.
Like this one very, very important thing you know about the Norns. The what's another name for the Norns? The weird sisters in Shakespeare, or you have the
Fates.
Right.
Yeah, the Fates or the Moiren. It's all the same. It's you have these 3 women, the Mother Maiden and the Crone, that have something to do with fate, and we have groups of Christian saints, which are always 3 women. They have different names in different places, in parts of Austria, in different parts of Germany. And they can't really be traced back to real people, but it's always these 3 women. And it seems that these were just the respective Norns of the area taken into Christianity and then worshipped as just random saints among all the other saints. So is that satanic now? Is worshipping those saints satanic? Or acknowledging them as such?
Is including presents at Christmas parties satanic? Since that's a pagan part of Christianity.
Oh yeah, Easter. Pagan. Making Easter fires. Completely pagan thing. We only do that up here in North Germany.
Yeah, then there's the Eastern Orthodox churches that have blessing of the baskets, painting of the eggs. Like there's all kinds of cultural norms they've been doing for hundreds, if not thousands of years. That's satanic because you bless food. Like where does that end? Like, where do we stop and say because it's not in this Bible, therefore it's wrong? I don't know. But anyway, I want to hear what he has to say about Tolkien because we're going off topic.
And wait, all right. This has never been Christian. John Ronald Reuel Tolkien is in hell burning right now. I guarantee you that. I'm only proving that in this video. This man
a devout Christian man who.
Whoa. Okay, calm down, Mr. Imam.
So Agatha Christie wrote a bunch of books on murder. Is she burning in hell right now because she wanted a bunch of people who are fictional to die?
Just because the man wrote a historical fiction at this point, because he built his own mythology, but to say that he is burning in hell simply for writing one of the most beloved stories
Inspiring.
of all time.
Jesus Christ.
Inspiring courage and integrity, inspiring stories.
Right. Okay, so should we... I am very tempted to just say throw this man onto the blacklist immediately, because if this is his take, I don't think we can squeeze much worse out of him or any meaningful commentary.
Look, but
Because
he gives us
Jesus
his premise.
Christ!
No Jesus Christ. There's no
No,
Jesus
I
Christ
need the guidance of Jesus Christ right now, because this man is about to show me the gates of hell.
Well,
Yeah, that's why we're here.
I'm kind of curious how many Bibles were sold and how many books of The Hobbit were sold. Is he like jealous that one got close or one surpassed the other? I don't know.
All I know is that during Sunday school we would learn from like the similarities of Christianity into the Tolkien world.
Yeah.
That was a Sunday school thing.
That's funny.
Okay, there we go.
a mystical Roman Catholic, not a saved man. He was not a Christian. He called himself a Christian.
Wait.
Oh, he's one of those people that think that Catholics aren't Christians.
Okay, this is like brandy and cognac.
Are they
All
Christians?
Roman Catholics are Christians. Okay?
I think that depends on the denomination, because there are some weird ones that are not very, in any way,
there
following
are
the thing.
flavors of Catholicism that are hard to trace and what they mean exactly, and they break off, etc. Yeah, I get that. But he's clearly not into Roman Catholicism. He's probably more Protestant or whatever a major religion out there that he
Protestant or Orthodox.
Yeah, right. So he's probably hardcore Protestant, I'm guessing.
But he was not a Christian according to the King James Bible.
Yeah, can you tell me?
God. No, go back, Smud. Go
Dude,
to that,
that's
The KJV.
the wrong
that
island.
book. Show that book on screen.
Do we use the King James
Not a saved
Bible
man,
on the
he was
continent?
not a Christian. He called himself a Christian, but he's a Catholic. Right? He was not a Christian according to the King James Bible.
Why does this
KJV.
this looks like it's something you put in a fucking movie set? This doesn't look
This is
like
literal
something
Bible thumping.
I don't know what Bible he's thumping.
I don't know where he gets the idea that Roman Catholics don't, use the King James, because they do.
When they're English, they probably do.
It's a mix between the Vulgate and the King James.
Okay, hold up. Where the fuck did he get this one? I'm looking up the images for like various Bibles. I don't see anyone which just says KGV.
I think he put the sticker on himself,
Yeah, I think
so that he knew that that's that Bible and not the other Bible and not the other Bible. I have 3 Bibles behind me.
Isn't that a defilement of a holy book?
I've
I
never
don't know.
seen...
Ask the Christian.
Yeah.
Cyrek?
What?
Okay.
Because I was always told you weren't allowed to. Because I would, when I was in Bible studies, I would like run my fingernails down the book, and I was slapped over the wrist for that.
No. You should see my Bibles. The 3 that I have right now are covered in notes.
The Bible that I have behind me, it has stab marks of a fork in its backside. I don't know how I got that. I got it that way. I did get it that way. The thing is 200 years old.
Hey, that is a symbol of God's will, okay? Because that thing protected someone else from a fork.
Okay.
Or somebody protected himself with a fork from being Bible thumped.
Anyway, this guy is already showcasing his biases, like blatantly. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, he was
awesome. I love this.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Doesn't care. Anyway,
to you in this study. So what I did years and years ago, I read all of the books. I read The Hobbit. I read the
So you don't know what
Fellowship
the
of the Ring, The Two Towers, The Return of the King. I read this whole thing, and I even read his book that supposedly comes before this time period here. I read this book here, The Silmarillion.
Yep.
All right.
Why does he say supposed to?
It does. It comes before it.
yeah.
No, why does
he does not
say
believe it because he does not
supposedly?
believe. He doubts. He has healthy doubt.
He doubts the word of J.R.
He literally states it comes before the Third Age.
Has he read Tolkien's fairy tales?
Probably not.
Wayne and the Green. Yeah, all those other books. I doubt it.
Show you these here on the overhead camera.
Oh my
Okay,
god!
there you have the
I can
Silmarillion.
see the devil dripping
This
out
is the
of
one
it.
that supposedly this takes place before these books here. These 4 books here: The Hobbit, Fellowship of the Ring,
It's called world
Return of the
building.
King, Two Towers. There's your order of it right there. Okay. So before you go, did you even read the books before you're judging? Yes, I read the books. Yes, I've read them. Yes, I have actually studied all this stuff. I have read, show you another book here, the Letters of J.R.R. Tolkien. I've showed this in some of my other videos where he's openly admitting that there are devils, that he has a demon of invention. And he says about how he didn't write the books, these Lord of the Rings books. They're not written by him. They're written by that other power that's always present, never named.
You mean God?
Amuse.
At the council, what's a big elf like Elrond? When they're at the big council meeting, in the books it's described as a otherworldly power making everyone meet. It's not Elrond calling a council. It's essentially God of the universe telling them to come to meet one another.
But Cyrek, you are the deeper Tolkien expert here. Are you aware of this citation? Did he take it out of context?
I need to find my book for the Letters of Tolkien again, but if I'm remembering it correctly, he's talking to his son, and he isn't even using it in the same manner that this man is. It's not a literal demon. He's saying, I am overcome with creative ideas, but in a more eloquent way.
Aha.
So, how Whisp described it, he's overcome with muses.
Yes.
Yeah, but, so I can easily see how this guy would interpret this as he's possessed. Yeah, just like somebody being possessed by the Spirit of God and then writing holy texts.
I'm trying to
Kind of works the same way.
I'm trying to find the reference. All I could find was a Christian reference to Belphegor, which was one of the 7 deadly sin demons. And he has a weird reference to discovery. He seduces people by suggesting to them ingenious inventions that will make them rich. So he's literally referring to literal inventions, not that a demon of invention, meaning the demon in his mind or the animus in his heart or whatever, is causing him to invent these characters on the page. So these are 2 very differently interpreted phrases, and because his brain is like, Catholic, that's all he sees. He goes to the literal interpretation of demon of invention, which is Belphegor. I think. I don't know how this man thinks exactly, but that's all I got. Anyway.
Even though the Bible talks about holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost. They named the Holy Ghost. All right. And yet Tolkien's saying, I can't name who it is that wrote the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, because it was a devil.
What?
Maybe
What?
because he wanted to keep it away from being too tainted by ideologues. The thing is, people very often claim that it was God or the Holy Spirit talking to them, and what they spout is just absolute devilish garbage.
And the writers always, at least the writers I know, even the ones that don't believe in mysticism, refer to their muse or muses.
Yeah.
And some days their muse is silent. Some days their muses don't shut up. So
The more somebody claims that it was God or an agent of God speaking to them, the less I believe them that was actually the case. The more I believe that I don't know, the showerhead was talking to them and they should take their meds.
well, these phrases like "I have a demon inside me urging me on," I think I might have actually used phrases like this in my high school days when I was referring to like writing or doing homework. I'm like really passionate. I have this like wolf chasing me down. I need to get this out the door. I'm like a man obsessed. There's all these phrases to refer to your passions and what motivates you. And of course we have
Yeah, but it
Tolkien
can be in a positive or in a negative way.
Yeah, and Tolkien being a Catholic guy who's obviously very bright and very busy and reading like crazy and making languages and entertaining his kids and being a professor and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, he might use some colorful language. Like, I don't know, like we have Jordan Peterson always using biblical references. It doesn't mean he's literally talking about a demon.
Also doesn't make him a Satanist because he doesn't say that he explicitly believes in the Orthodox Christianity.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to say, "Oh, I have the spirit of God having me work these miracles on the page." That would be really egotistical to say that God is causing me to write or something like that.
Yeah, that's usually the frauds who claim that.
Yeah, God came to me last night to write Lord of the Rings. It's like, really? Okay, Tolkien?
And this is the total word of God.
I could, if I sat down
That's how
and
you
tried
get
to...
Gnostic cults.
Oh yeah, Gnosticism is fucking neat.
Neat?
It is very neat. Yes.
Neat?
Neat.
I'd
What
say
do you mean with
crazy,
neat?
but
Okay.
It's
What do you
very,
mean
it's
with
a very...
Anyway,
How would you not describe Gnosticism as neat?
let us continue.
I don't know what word you're using right now.
Let us continue with the video.
But I also have here the biography of Tolkien. So yes, I have done my research. I've read that. I also have over here the language of Tolkien's Middle Earth. All right, and it gets into all the runic alphabet and everything else there. And
Cool.
here I have the fiction of Tolkien, Master of Middle Earth, and just a lot of things that were written in here promoting the book and whatever else, saying it's great and everything. Tolkien's Sanctifying Myth. I read this thing. Here's a devotional book. Isn't that wonderful? Walking with Frodo. Yeah, it's called a modern professing Christian that's lost that decides to capitalize on a big Hollywood market film and make
Hollywood?
some big bucks on it.
Well, considering what they're doing in Hollywood,
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, he's
really
technically right. He's right on one thing at least.
Also, I do find it interesting that he has a copy of Walking with Frodo, but he does not have The Hobbit.
He did.
No, he
actually.
did.
Yes, the Hobbit.
He did.
Yeah.
He does? Alright.
Yes.
You can, be okay watching the Lord of the Rings whole series thing and still be saved and be a Christian and things. You might be saved.
Does reading the Quran mean that you will not go to heaven?
No. If it's not the King
Probably.
James Bible, it's the devil, and you're going to be burning in hell. There's the only.
Okay,
I want
how-
from him a list of denominations that go to heaven and denominations that go to hell. Like Dominicans, Jesuits, Augustinians, Franciscans, and so on. I want that level of.
If you're not
of list.
Protestant and if you don't read the King James Bible and interpret it as law, you're going to hell. You're
Yeah,
Protestant.
like Dominicans go to heaven, Franciscans go to hell, Augustinians go to hell.
Lutherans are like
and so on.
in between limbo, I guess. I don't know.
How did I go to hell?
I want to know, what does... Okay, he says that you will not be saved if you watch the movies, right? That's the statement. You will not be saved if you watch the movies, correct?
Yeah.
He has read all of the books. Does that not mean that he will go to hell?
Oh, no. He's reading it for good purpose. In order to understand, in order to help save other people, so it's okay.
But... Okay, maybe
because
I'm just not
look, because he's not being entrapped by the evil spirit.
He's
right.
reading into the truths of it.
Look, it's like as if he was reading in Necronomicon. He wouldn't go to hell with it. He wouldn't be tainted by it because his belief in the Holy Spirit is so big that it can't defile him.
I mean,
that's how he can warn us about its contents.
The one interpretation of the original Bible, as presented by the King James version. Therefore, this is the true path that no one else knows of, and this is the only path that no one else can possibly understand what he's gone through, etc., etc. So, this is really bad. Like, I don't care if you believe in your religion, but if you start demonizing literally other religions or not even religion, just different people for writing fiction that might have been inspired by mysticism or paganism, you have got a serious stick up your butt.
Okay, I like Generic Shooter and Big Bro Tijano's takes. It's like, you really want to spend eternity in a place with nothing but religious fanatics and joyless prudes? I was considering calling him a prude before, but yeah, he's full on prudish. Oh yeah, I can read the Bible and read the Lord of the Rings because I am wiser when I am the one that will be called upon when they need an exorcist. But you know, sir, if you watch the movies or read the books, you are damned to hell. The Balrog will drag you down there.
I remember it was years ago, I said in an hour-long lecture that the only purpose of it was to explain the grammar and meaning of words in Hebrew of the first sentence of Genesis. And it took a whole hour, and it was basically to convey like what you read in any English, German, whatever translation. There's already so much meaning lost. You're running on a basic idea. This is not what the actual text is. You can't translate it because the language is so different. You would need several sentences to just explain the one.
It reminds me of reading
if he's going on about the King James as the absolute true word, not really. No, sorry.
It reminds me of reading Odysseus. Now we had to analyze almost every other word and have to make note of words that I essentially filled in because we don't have a better description of it. Like at one point it describes brigands, but they use the term Viking.
Wow.
Because that's the best word they had at the time. Viking. Mm-hmm. And it's stuck.
Yeah, there are some English historians, and when they use words from on YouTube, when they use words from other languages, you usually have someone from that language explaining the deeper meanings of how that word is used in colloquial terms as well as in its actual meaning. Because those already are different things. And especially when it goes about World War I and II, you have a lot of German words, and holy shit, are people oblivious to what they mean? Because of course they are. Because it's a very meaning-laden language.
All right. So now that everyone who's read the books and watched the movies are evil and going to hell.
Yay! Well, I'm anyway. I eat roasted boar at Easter from a fire made by a cut down fig tree. So
wow, yeah, that's really extra bad. Yeah.
We've all watched the movies, I assume, so we all Satanists.
Yeah. Ooh, isn't that great? You watched a movie and now you join a religion. It's amazing.
There you are, watching Lord of the Rings, then all of a sudden, you're a Satanist.
Fir tree, not fig tree. I always mix these words up.
You didn't ask for this, you didn't choose this, but there it is.
You're in hell.
Yay! All right, let's go.
some things, but the point is, you're not going to be in too good a fellowship with the Lord if you're messing around with this kind of witchcraft. The Lord's convicting me and just saying, okay, if you need to get this study done, get these satanic books out of your home, burn them, which I'm going to be doing, by the way.
He's gonna burn them!
Guys,
What? Are you actually book burning, motherfucker?
Oh, he does. He does,
be
yeah.
a fan.
he does
This
do it.
man has to be a plant.
He does
This can't be a real man.
Has he made videos about how he's burning books?
He's like a parody.
This cannot be real. This
No,
man
this-
cannot unironically be
What you people don't
preaching.
understand is that the craziest people you know of that you think are comic characters, comic level stereotype characters, caricatures, they exist. I've been 10 years on a political info book about privacy and IT security and all that stuff. I have met them all. They exist. Like every character in Sandman, the comic, exists. I've met every one of them. It's insane. Even Hattie.
Does this man also think that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is also satanic?
I mean, I guess so. You'd have to be, yeah. Anyone associated with Tolkien?
Well, it does include stuff like a faun, which is from the Greeks, which were considered pagan, whilst the works of Plato and Homer were being collected by the Christian Church. So I guess they are satanic too.
Well, the New Testament was written in Greek, right? So
Yeah, and
Satanic.
a lot of Christian monasteries translated and transcribed old Greek and Roman books so that way they could be passed down.
Yeah. We wouldn't
So I
have the
guess
great
Christians are
philosophers.
pagan.
We wouldn't have the great philosophers if they hadn't done that. So thank you.
Plato's all pagan and evil and satanic.
Yeah, as I said, if one of my favorite memes recently is of a fucking 600 AD Christian monk saving a work of Plato, and the father or canon going, "Good work, even though it was a pagan, we cannot let go of such great works." And then cut to 2022, where we're literally book burning over he, she, they.
Yeah, that is actually happening at
Yeah.
leftist universities. It's insane. So
All right.
basically, everybody's a Satanist but mommy.
Oh dear. Hope she didn't read any Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe growing up.
Boy. Being God in the Lord of the Rings. This one's funny too. This guy here, what's his deal?
There's a warning sign.
Kurt Brunner. Let me
Can we pause
see
on the
this.
frame with the warning sign?
This guy here, what's his deal?
This book, blur.
Hold on, get it a better frame. Get it a better.
No, it's just bad quality.
Yeah, Kurt. Finding God in the Lord of the Rings. This one's funny too. This guy here, what's his deal? Kurt Brunner. Let me zoom in here so we can see this fabulous guy here. Is vice president with focus on the family.
Peabody Award-winning focus on the family radio theater programs. The author of several books, including The Divine Drama. Kurt lives in Colorado. His wife. Okay, he's a good guy. Cool. All right.
All right. The warning appeared to not be included in the PDF version of.
He probably
It's-
put that warning there
yeah.
himself.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a piece of paper put in there. Probably, I suppose it probably says this book is satanic. Don't read it, or it will corrupt your soul or something.
All right, pulling up the Internet Archive. Let's see. This also does not have.
Rather just pull up the video in the 180p and see if you can get a good screenshot.
That's what I'm doing right now as well.
Are you
Going frame by
saying this
frame.
guy put his own page inside this book with the warning
Yeah.
label?
Yeah, so that people don't get sent to hell for reading it.
Does this guy have like a library of books where he just puts this page at the front of every one of his books he dislikes?
Yeah, probably. And see, it's such a pity that the socialists ruined the atheist movement.
Got
They
it.
would have so much fun with this guy.
Oh, you got it?
It says this book contains many errors and is only to be used for research and documentation purposes.
Errors?
Errors, yeah.
So this guy who's trying to find the connection between Christianity that we know Tolkien had and his characters and symbols and all that jazz in his writing is wrong somehow.
Yes.
Maybe it's a soft warning, so
Yeah, right. It's
to get people off. I don't know. It looks like it's his personal library, though.
okay. Well, this is going to be hilarious. If he has like a photocopier of this one page, he just cuts into every single book and he pastes it.
Oh, maybe he's going around libraries and putting these letters, these things into everything.
Boy, he's going to go to jail for that. Oh my god. Anyway.
The creation of books, films, magazines, and radio drama, including the popular adventures in Odyssey. So
All right,
you get this
I
lost
downloaded.
hellbound man here.
I borrowed the book real quick from Goodreads to see, okay, what the fuck does it actually say? There is no such warning in the actual book. The opening of the book is a fucking dog.
Lale, we already determined that he put it there. What are you surprised about?
All right.
I just have to share this because it just says in the corner of the page that he's got the warning label. It's from the library of David Sharon Parker and Sutter Lane Loan, which appears to be the common one. As I've seen that at least through 2 different copies of this thing.
Just think of that octagon as his version of a Star of David or something. Anyway.
And I say he's lost because finding God in the Lord of the Rings? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's one of the critiques people had.
He goes into saying about how he was in London and he goes into the Eagle and Child here, you know, the one pub where Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and these guys, where they would hang out at, you know.
And
it was a lifelong dream to go to the pub where these wonderful men of God met.
Yeah, that's what fans do.
What's wrong with that?
Where you think, where you think, this is where these great authors were. Well, let's take in the atmosphere that they took in.
How about all the people who make their
That's
pilgrimage
gonna be
to Bethlehem
interesting.
to go see the place that they believe Jesus was born, or any other holy man they believe in their where they lived? What's wrong with
What
that?
about people that go to pilgrimage?
Yeah. Or
And
any...
then especially if you like literature, you can like not just reading it in your room. You can read it in the park on the grass, or you can go into some fancy pretentious cafe. Like the first time I read the Steppenwolf was in the Café Chagall under the tram line in Berlin with a big bottle of wine. It was a wonderful atmosphere. The train rolling above, and it's nice place, nice atmosphere. It's just great. It's what you do. And then you think if I don't know if any poets had frequented that thing because it's fucking old, but if they had and I had known about it, I would have thought, yeah, this is the right place to read a sophisticated book. And then I realized this book is actually crap and overrated because it has this drug trip.
What's funny about this is that we have this equivalent thing here, which is the H.C. Andersen House, which is an actual museum, full on, and they built a fucking park connected to it.
Sounds beautiful.
It is.
Oh my god, what the hell? Yeah, I want to read a book there.
Connected to the actual house that he lived in, which has been maintained since his passing. He's considered such a treasure. Not only did his house become a museum, they made a fucking park in his honor.
Yeah, so wanting to visit the environs, the paths that other people walked that you admire, this is pretty much a normal behavior for people who like traveling and who like, they live in their worlds. They read, let's say, I don't know, Kant, and they want to go down the street. He walked every morning. Like that's great. Cool, do it.
It also can ground you a lot, because lots of these accomplished writers or scientists, they lived in very meager places. Like this is a very simple house. It's a one-story house.
Yeah, look at the reclining bed that Freud put all his patients on. Like that's still there. Like there's all these wonderful places to visit whenever you're in Europe or wherever.
Yeah.
It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it's like going to a museum essentially, but these are literal places that still exist.
Yeah, you don't need to live in a fancy place. You don't need your fancy tools like the super expensive pen or brushes or whatever, or the bestest paper available. You just need your mind and some drive.
Yeah. That's actually funny, because H.C. Andersen was inspired by the depressing conditions of his home area. The punchline of almost every early story that he did before he actually started writing them ended with, and then they died.
Yeah.
Well, from what?
Look, they planted a tree. It looks much nicer than the old black and white picture.
All right, let's keep going.
I'm going to show some quotes with these books here as we continue. The Gospel According to Tolkien by Ralph Wood. Visions of the Kingdom in Middle-earth. Yes, yes. And Jesus Christ is symbolized by the wizard Gandalf. Isn't that spiritual?
No, he isn't.
No.
And then here you have these two books by this Richard Abanes guy.
Isn't he more like Archangel Michael?
Yeah, he's a lot more like an angel. He's not the fucking Lord.
He would be considered an angel in Tolkien's because he's a Maiar.
Tolkien would never raise... Again, Tolkien would never look at Jesus Christ and accuse him of being a wizard.
I too remember the battle with the Balrog versus Jesus. When he became Jesus the White, and then now he's different Jesus.
Oh, this is what it meant whenever Jesus was in the wilderness being tempted by Satan.
He's fucking Balrog. Satan was getting desperate that day.
No.
The Balrog is basically a fallen angel.
So now he's bringing up Harry Potter versus... Oh, let's just keep going.
Oh,
Fantasy and
boy.
Your Family and Harry Potter and the Bible. Again, Harry Potter's bad, but Lord of the Rings is wonderful and good and Christian.
What?
Sure. No favoritism or anything like that.
Right. There's a very good reason for that. One takes on specifically heathen aspects of even northern culture and Germanic cultures and paints them as a positive, childlike experience that allows you to essentially be a child forever with powers beyond your imagining and taking down explicitly evil beings with said forbidden power. Like, even the good guys can utilize forbidden curses. Those curses were not forbidden because they turn you evil or not. It's just evil people that tend to use them.
Yeah.
Whereas Lord of the Rings is like, even the temptation of evil, of power, that being the ring, can turn you evil. Even the most noble of heart, like Boromir, can be turned to evil by just the potential power that ring holds.
Yeah, because it's put into a story the very simple principle of power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
Right.
That's
also,
it. That's the ring.
For the record, I don't believe Harry Potter supports like Satanism at all.
It's witch stuff with magic, so it's Satan stuff. Like bloody hell. Even in Tunisia, they're handing out Harry Potter books to children for getting A's in school. Like they have this concept that they have a box full of toys, of prizes and stuff, and if you get an A, you can take something out of there and it's yours.
Yeah, I think
some of those, and there's the kids love to take out books.
Yeah, I think
not just the toys.
Harry
They
Potter,
take the books over the toys.
I don't remember which book of Harry Potter outsold The Hobbit, but they did. If you look at the list of like the most sold books over, well, forever, It's in the 80s or 90 million. Like it's really, really high up there. So these are popular books for a reason. None of these kids are going to be burning in hell just because they read a fiction piece. It's really far-fetched from this guy. But okay, he has his own religious beliefs. We can respect that. He's a bit extreme, but...
A bit?
Yeah. A lot, yeah.
Before we move on,
wait.
a very important, well, not important, but a very cool comment was fucking generic shooter says, Smutboy, please read and review the book you wrote called The Divine Drama.
Oh.
Smut, Wisp, you know what to do.
Oh God. Functioning shooters also the long thing you wrote. I said the opposite of that. Just saying. You don't need to be rich, well-schooled, and live in a home filled with equipment. No. Many of these people came from very simple places. That's what I said about Tolkien's home. It's a very, very simple home. Also, Cyrek, I think I have a reading slip book. What do you call it in English? From that bookstore. Must have gotten it in with some of the books I ordered.
A reading slip?
Yeah, what do you call that in English? Lesezeichen.
No, a bookmark.
Bookmark, thank you. I think I have a bookmark from that bookshop.
All right, anyway.
Dude, I've lost 30 IQ points due to the PTSD, okay? I am retarded. I am officially retarded.
I thought that whatever the comment was about the divine comedy, not the divine drama. I don't know what that is. So either way, let's keep going.
But said I have all these movies here. Here's the regular DVDs, full screen, blah blah. Then the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, the Return of the King, the whole.
Do you have the super special extended cut?
So yes, I have done quite a bit of research into this whole thing. And like I said, I could talk for hours and hours and hours on this. But honestly, there's so many things that are more important right now. All right? And this stuff here, you know, having watched it, and I don't watch it very often, but it was just, you know, I don't watch too many Hollywood movies is what I'm trying to say. But having watched this, I can tell you there's nothing Christian about it. And this definitely, you know, it's PG-13. Years ago, this would have been beyond rated R.
No.
The blood and the gore and the
No.
bullets and the
Not this.
things like this. I mean, it's incredible.
Have you watched Aliens?
Right? Just really, really wicked. They
No,
even showed
because he'll go to hell if he does.
Okay, have
Have
you guys see John Turn, right? Where he talks about, right, if you want to have some good Christian stuff, you gotta read the Bible, which has no cursing, sexual assault, or murder in it.
Oh,
Genociding infants.
Destroying entire cities.
That's a good bedtime story, right?
Destroying entire planets.
And then God killed all the firstborn. What? All the children? Yes, he killed all the children.
Pharaoh's wrong for that one. Should just let the Jews go.
That's basically a reflection of he did that, or his father did that before, so now it's done onto his people. So that's but it's still horrible. Like, what the fuck?
I can't think of the Lord of the Rings trilogy movie series. Like, I'm trying to remember what was violent about that. There were maybe one or two scenes, but nothing bloody and over the top.
Boromir spitting up blood on it whenever he's dying because of all the arrows. And that was like not even that much blood. It was just like a dribble.
I'm thinking maybe when Frodo gets his finger bitten off, but that's not really gory. That's just, you know, someone bit someone's finger
That's
off.
Peter Jackson pumping in his splatter stuff, where you see the blood spurting. That's not how it's actually described in the book, but it looks neat.
Yeah, I can't. Maybe what was that? One of those Dark Knights getting killed by what's her face? Like that? Maybe. Like, I don't know.
Dark Knight?
You mean
Nazgul?
Nazgul, thank you.
The Witch King and the Nazgul?
The Dark Knight.
As I said, it's been a while since I read these books.
By his logic, Star Wars would have to be rated R.
Oh yeah, get your arm chopped off. No blood.
Decapitation.
No blood. Yeah, exactly. Carbonate freezing. Yeah. Ooh.
Shooting people.
Anyway.
No blood.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost the blood and the gore and the violence and the open Satanism and things like this. I mean,
Open
it's
Satanism.
incredible.
So the
Right?
Bible is
Just
Satanism,
really, really
okay?
wicked. They even showed there's a segment in one of them. I forget which one of these extra ones. These bigger editions. One of these things. There's one of them where they actually are talking about the special effects crew, and they're talking about the different days that they had. It took them like 3 years to make the stupid movies or whatever.
Wow.
And they say at one point, they say that they celebrated day 666, day 666, with a satanic party. And there's video of them, and they're, dancing around and stuff like this, dressed up like Satan worshippers and things.
You mean like people in the costume department and the makeup department having fun?
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, they dressed up and had a party, like a Halloween party. Oh my goodness.
Sorry, you have seen all this part. My brother owned this copy, so I never got around to see all the making of stuff, behind the scenes stuff.
Oh,
In there?
the appendices are so good. And yes, there is a party, and they do show various people dressed up, but it's not a satanic party. They're dressed as all the characters that they play.
Is it on day
it's literally-
666?
It's just a cosplay party at that point.
Yeah, you see the
That's
fucking orcs actor drinking alongside Aragorn and Legolas, like actors. It's great.
Is it on day 666?
I don't remember them ever stating that it's day 666.
Oh god. Well, he thinks the movies are stupid.
Okay,
so.
everyone, you have reason to watch the movies again, and then all the background shit. Just to see if he's right.
Oh god. Well, if you really
Okay.
want to, I think the extended editions are pretty good, but yeah, you don't have to.
Yes.
All right.
Now, if this is a great Christian film, why would they be doing a thing like that?
They're human.
It's not Christian. Never has been. Never.
Having a party
you're
is not
lying.
Christian. Dressing up is not Christian. Yeah, we don't have any festivals.
He's nervously fidgeting. So either he's because he's lying, or because he's actually scared of the Satanism.
Feasts and celebrations are not a part of Christianity, apparently. Even though we have 10 days that I know of that have feasts on them throughout the year.
Pentecost, Easter, Christmas, obviously.
You stole that one, and that one too.
No.
Wasn't Spain one of the only Spain and Venice were like one of the only countries left in Europe that were keeping festivals alive after the 15th century?
No.
I know Venice.
Dark Ages because fun was not allowed.
I know Venice was like the big one up till Napoleon marched in and just banned festivals.
I'm trying
No
to think
fun
of like
allowed.
the more carnival-like ones, like the Corpus Christi, like all those fancy ones. I'm quite sure they.
St. Peter's feast, St. Paul's, or no, not St. Paul's,
Yeah, but that
I want to
involved
say Augustine.
folk culture from Europe and during the times. Like I remember, I think parts of Italy they have like a festival a month based off a saint or this or that, and they have all kinds of parades and food and dress up, and it's pretty. And they're partially religious as well because obviously that's based off Christianity. So, are they all a bunch of pagans? Like.
By this man's standards, probably.
I just realized he's called himself Born Again Barbarian. Barbarians are inherently non grata, non-Christian, automatically go to hell. Won't you go to hell for associating yourself with barbarians?
I want him talking about the Codex Magica behind him.
Oh god.
Oh, he does have one.
Yeah, and next to that is some, what is that, Arcanum Monuments? I can't read it.
Does he have
yeah.
anything on 40K? I'd love to hear what he has to say. Every word is satanic. Every word. Every period.
I would love for him to try and defend chaos when it's explicitly stated that the Eldar create a god of evil out of their debauchery and rape.
Yeah, he
Well,
would.
certainly not holy.
Yeah, well, here we go.
You know? But let me just show you a couple things here. If you are familiar with the story of the Lord of the Rings, if not, don't worry about it. Don't waste your time. It's satanic.
Is
If
lying
you are
Christian?
familiar with it,
This
there are
is
a
just
number
lying at
of
this point.
names.
Does lying get you into hell?
Guys, if you ever watch anything Tolkien, it's satanic. It's just, that's how it works.
If you do you go to heaven if you lied a lot about other people and slandered them?
Yes,
Okay.
unless you repent.
Oh, it's that simple. You just say, "Oh, I didn't mean."
You'll still be judged at the end.
I
Don't forget-
repented. Can I go in now so that I totally mean it? Trust me. I'm totally not crossing my fingers behind my back. Paul, come on.
All right. Anyway, let's read some satanic verses. Here we go.
And real familiar here when I show you this. This here too, by the way, let me just, before I show you that, this is what I compiled
Can you be any more
over
nervous?
the years. All my notes and things that I took, all the quotes and everything. Just going through here and
All your quote mining and twisting words.
just amazing. I mean,
Yeah, talk.
from,
Yeah, bring
let's see
something.
where the end of it is.
Invented
Come on.
Satanism. Here we go.
Okay, right there.
You have a structure.
All these pages right here are the notes that I took down through the years. I was actually originally, before I got into video
Through
ministry,
the
I
years?
was
Excuse
going to
me?
write a book.
He
That's why I
said that
compiled all this
it took him a long
information.
time
This whole
to
folder
work on
here is
this study.
Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings. Well, Tolkien's writings and the whole Lord of the Rings thing, the Hobbit, the Silmarillion, all that stuff. It's also on C.S. Lewis, which I'm going to be talking about him too as we continue.
Oh, is he
Oh,
satanic?
boy.
I'm just going to show you some of these quotes
Oh,
here
boy.
in this
This is
video.
not going to be
Please.
fun.
Like I said, I'm not going to spend much time on this because there's just so many other things I need to do. So
You
let
can't
me
just
show you
drag
this.
him up and then say that you
This
don't
is-
have time for them.
This is great. Look at my years of research.
You're
By
saying
the-
you
But I
don't
can't
have
tell you
time?
about it
Oh,
because
you
I have
prick.
more important things to. You fucking fraud.
I've written.
You zealous prick.
Say you're a liar.
I have 50
Admit
pages
it.
of reference,
Admit it.
200 pages of notes, but it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter at all. Just keep going.
Admit it. Repent, demon, or whatever you say.
Amazing.
Can we exorcise him?
No, he's already down the rabbit hole of Pentecostal religion. I don't know what he's. I don't even know what religion he's part. I don't think anyone who is this orthodox. I don't even say orthodox. No, I would just say obsessed. Like even people who are orthodox, whatever Byzantine,
Oh,
they're not like this.
oh, okay. So I was looking at his channel. He also denies the Trinity,
What?
which is a staple of Christianity.
How do you deny the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit again?
You're looking at it. You look at the Trinity from a physical point of view instead of a metaphysical.
Is
How-
he a Gnostic?
He's looking more and more like one.
Yeah, okay,
so that makes
let me-
sense. That makes sense
But-
why he's calling it satanic.
But
Okay,
if
let me
he
bring
is
it
a
back to
Gnostic,
the,
then wouldn't he think Catholicism is satanic? Because that's usually
He-
what
he-
Gnostics believe.
He called Tolkien.
What?
He already did that at the beginning, I thought.
He did. He said that all Catholics are Satanists.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
It's orthodoxy, which he hasn't bastardized yet. But let me bring back to my earlier points about Gnostics and why I find them neat. They are a heretical religion starting from almost as early as the Lord rising, like immediately after he was put to death. They started collecting all a bunch of beliefs about God's light being within us. And started creating this fucking mushroom cloud of belief that is so scatterbrained, it's kind of incredible. Where all deities that aren't you are just evil manifestations of temptation, trying to stop you from becoming the ultimate self-approving Ubermensch. I find that kind of philosophy neat. Just as in, oh, that's a neat idea you got there. You're still a fucking heretic. Full out.
It's you mean because it's simplistic, it's neat.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's
okay.
simplistic and interesting. Well, it's simplistic in theory, but reading into it is like some of the most convoluted research I've had to do in trying to portray a Gnostic.
Yeah. So it didn't mean neat in the sense of it's good, but in the sense of it's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean to ever imply that Gnosticism is good. If you find the Gnostics, I cannot encourage assault, but I will encourage harsh discussion.
The idea is basic idea is a real scientist knows that he believes, because every theory can be supplanted by a better version of it, as is happening throughout the centuries. A religious person knows that he believes. A Gnostic believes that he knows. And that's why you also see Gnostics in science posing as scientists, claiming that they totally know the thing and that they are the science or whatever, and preach to you about things that simply aren't true and that are falsifiable. Gnostics refuse falsifiability. A religious person will still have a discussion with you, and you can part on good terms. With a Gnostic, that can't happen because the Gnostic knows he is right.
Anyway, we're almost at 10 minutes. I guess
He's just getting started.
I know, but this is gonna, like, every other sentence is.
Let's make this a Sisyphus experience.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, let's go for at least another 3-4 minutes.
See some of the terms of Tolkien's whole series here. To see if he has this map thing on it. See if I can find one of the maps that he has of his Middle Earth thing.
Middle Earth thing.
The map of Middle Earth, you mean?
A little bit.
No, the Middle Earth thing.
Okay, yeah. Really
My God, you're so prepared for your video. Bloody hell.
Doesn't say.
I take back that you did the legwork.
Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay.
Please
here you have the Nordic mythos. This is a book I had. It was a spell book and things, this runic spell book deal. And again, I've been holding on to this thing so I could put it into my writings. But time to get rid of this garbage. But it goes on.
Oh, you're throwing away culture. Look, this is not for you to make magic spells. It's trying to explain what a culture believed.
Well, he didn't call it Satanic.
You arrogant schmuck, go around and want to throw away everything that isn't your thing.
Well, it's garbage, but it's not
you
Satanic,
are fucking,
so it's probably a level
The
higher.
only devil in the room here is him.
He's going to light it on fire. I can't wait to see that. Oh, boy.
Here in a lot of this different things, but look at this. This is where it gets really interesting. You know, he talks about the 2 towers and that there are different trees and symbologies of trees and things. Right here is what Tolkien basically plagiarized. Check this out.
Plagiarized?
Here you have this big tree.
A tree.
You read all these books and how Tolkien got inspired, and he even explains it. It's not plagiarism, it's inspiration. But you don't know the difference of that.
Even if it was plagiarism, don't worry, Denmark wouldn't sue you, unlike what they're trying to sue Disney for.
Bloody hell.
Do you know how many
also Haunted
magical
Furby, the
trees-
latter.
Like
The most he did was take names from old mythologies and give them to characters in his book.
Mm-hmm.
I would
The
love to
most
see-
obvious one is fucking Middle Earth, Midgard, and it took me till I was 18 to get the point that it was Midgard, Middle Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
sorry,
remember the differences between... what was the name of the tree in Tolkien's? It was the Tree of Light, whatever it was called. There were 2 of them.
Hold on, I forgot the names of the 2 trees.
Right, but the idea was that they were like the source of light, that the sun, the not the sunless lands, but whatever they called the original elven world.
The trees of Valinor.
Valinor, there you go. I don't remember the Yggdrasil doing that.
No.
No, Yggdrasil didn't make light.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to represent male and female as well.
Yeah, as there were the Telperion, which was the silver one, and the Laurelian? Laurelian, yeah, that was the gold one.
Yeah.
Okay. A little different. So you can take the idea of a tree, call it something else, have it do something, and represent and symbolize other things. That's totally not bad. You could do that in writing. It's totally normal.
World thing, Yggdrasil.
This world tree looking thing is the world tree, you fucking
upside,
imbecile.
Then you have the down here, but it goes up, and then you have this and whatever else. And if you know the story, what's the white city of the realm of the men? It's Isengard. Look at here, Asgard. And at the end of the movie, you see the big eagle and stuff like this flying around, saving Frodo and Sam and things. See? Right there. The eagle.
They are literal angels! Why are you...
So, wait, a drawing?
If he's read all of that, he should be able to decipher this.
What? Okay, this is a picture in some Norse mythos book. I don't remember specifically magical eagles in Norse
Okay, it's a great eagle. Okay, the great eagle is the one that's at the top of Yggdrasil. Whilst at the bottom you got not Jormungandr, Nidhogger. Nidhogger that eats at the roots of the Yggdrasil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the little squirrel carries messages between the eagle and Nidhogger, eternally making deals with one another. To one trying to keep the Yggdrasil intact, whilst Nidhogger wants to destroy the Yggdrasil and everything that is attached to, but can be appeased by the eagle.
Right. As opposed to what Tolkien did, he made an entire race of eagles that are, magical creatures, thousands of years old. That
They're Maiar.
they do their own thing. They sort of like kind of like how Shadowfax is just this magical lord of horses that just appears out of nowhere. They're just this mystical, supernatural forces of nature. They're not. I don't know what the background story is with those things. Anyway, is there a huge mention of them in any of the books that like fleshes them out like the story of Norse?
No, Pearl. We agree that the wizards are angels.
Yes.
Our point is that he is calling the Satanic because he's making the eagle out to be some Norse pagan stuff, when Tolkien says the eagles in Lord of the Rings are Maya a la angels.
And the Balrog is also a fallen Maiar. Same,
Yeah.
and Melkor is a fallen Valar.
Yeah, when you rewatch those scenes, the scene with Gandalf against the Balrog, with the knowledge in mind that these two are the same being, the same kind of being, it gets a whole nother vibe.
Okay. 11 minutes in.
And down here you have Midgard and Middleland. Kind of like Middle Earth. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, imagine that. And then you have different realms here. The realm of the elves.
Hey, just a comment on the art. That's a very neat highlight of a Nidhogger. People usually forget about him.
Mm-hmm.
Guy that eats at the roots of the tree. Cool. And a little squirrel running up and down. Neat.
The realm of the Vanar.
Vana.
in
Vanaheim.
Tolkien's world. The realm of the frost giants. The land of ice and mist. Hell there, realm of the dead. Gee, I wonder where they got that word from. Realm of the dwarves.
No.
Okay.
He just thinks Christianity invented everything, and everything that isn't Christianity is evil. So
Right.
not explicitly enough saying that Tolkien stuff has Christianity in it isn't enough for him. As long as it has some connection to something not Christian, it's devilish.
if he has ever said Thursday, excuse me, in his fucking life, he's automatically a satanic pagan. Guess where that came from? Jesus Christ.
This guy is evil without knowing it. He is so fanatic that he cannot see the beam in his own eye.
I'm gonna send you something I sent to LOL.
Oh,
What?
Christ. You want to pull your hair out by this point. When he sends you this is...
There you go.
Oh.
I want to see.
Was the Apostle Paul a false prophet? Ooh. He's got a bit of a tan there.
I just think this man is disingenuous in everything that he's talking about.
I think he's the real Satanist who's calling other people satanic to what is it? Deflect from himself. Like he's calling everyone what he's doing.
Like, yes, the Nords called the land of the dead hell.
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 But it shouldn't matter. The word, yeah, it sounds like what we call hell, but there's so many differences to the realm of the dead in Norse mythology than in Christianity. Like, yeah.
Also, it's named after the goddess Helheim.
Who is the warden?
Helheim. What?
Isn't she like the warden essentially?
She's the overseer.
Yeah. And the daughter of Loki and Angerboda. One of the not monsters.
Yeah.
The original name of Helheim before Hel came into being or took over the place was Jormungand. So it's the place where Jormungandr came from. That's all.
All right.
Interesting. So again, you see a lot of this stuff here is taken and put right into Tolkien's books. He just changed some of the wording around. You know, it's just amazing.
You presented as if you found that out when he explained all of it.
Even then, they are not the same. The afterlife of the Lord of the Rings is not the same as the Norse afterlife. Thank fucking God. I don't want to see all the characters that get a free ticket out of hell to go back to fight in Lord of the Rings. That would cheapen so much of the gratuitous violence and war and death that happens during the Silmarillion. Could you imagine the fucking elves coming back like 3 times during those wars?
Basically, Ragnarok happening over and over again,
Yeah. I would hate to see the fuck... What was the name of the smith of the Silmarils?
Celebrimbor?
No. Wait.
Was he around then? That was the second age.
No partial, there is no A at the end.
Feanor, that's the guy. Feanor got assassinated, right? Imagine if he had come back during the fight, like the last battle against Sauron between humans and elves. Like he was fucking balling out of hell.
Celebrimbor is the one who made the rings.
Yeah. Like, I am so glad Tolkien did not take that much inspiration from Noah Smith.
Yeah, and Space Junk has it right in the chat. Just read up on it if you want.
Okay, 12 minutes in.
And Hela was an invention of Marvel nonsense. That character's complete nonsense.
We're going to go for another 3 minutes. I don't know how this guy is going nowhere.
Pagan deities and things here. There you have Odin.
Heathen, please.
You know, an all-seeing eye down there. Over here. Odin at the fount of wisdom.
What's he doing there? You have to read up on it now?
Just trying to find something else here quick.
Oh god.
What's that to do with Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Okay. Tarot card here. The Hanged Man tarot card echoes Odin's act of self-sacrifice to obtain the runes. So, who was Gandalf the wizard really symbolizing in the Lord of the Rings?
He's not
All these
self-sacrificing.
people over here, these professing Christians.
He's not Gandalf is not self-sacrificing to obtain something.
Is he talking?
Is
he trying to talk about
Well-
Sauron?
What the fuck? No.
No. The only way that Gandalf could be self-sacrificing is at the bridge whenever he's fighting the Balrog. But that's so that way the others can escape.
Yeah, but that is for altruistic reasons, not egoistic reasons.
And he still tries to kill the Balrog and fights it.
He does
Yeah,
kill the
I'm like-
Balrog.
Yeah, it's not like he just throws himself like head first and cracks his neck on the way down. No, he fights that fucker and wins.
I'm trying to think of like the Eye or maybe the Palantirs or like what is he talking about? Like communication? I don't know. Like, what? I think at that point Tolkien was writing his own thing, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I don't need any more inspiration."
Oh, it's actually funny that the chat is bringing up Saint Michael. In my hometown, well, not quite hometown, but essentially I lived here all my life. We have a statue of Saint Michael slaying a serpent, both in statue form at the town square and as a massive painting next to the church.
I'd say Manwë was more Michael-esque than Gandalf. Only because Manwë is the most loyal Valar to Eru Ilúvatar. And also, he really, really wanted to get back at Melkor for corrupting creation.
Okay.
Tolkien's myth was symbolic of the Bible and all this other stuff. They say that Gandalf symbolized Jesus Christ. Even though in the Bible, back in the book of Leviticus, it talks about that you're not to seek after wizards to be defiled by them. Huh. How could you...
But please, who again says that Gandalf is Jesus? Because I have never heard that one.
So he's using Bible verse to say that because the Bible says so.
Yeah, but he says it on a twist. He says it on something that I've not heard anyone say. I've not heard anyone say that Gandalf is Jesus.
Yeah, but he's using the literal words of a Bible or his Bible to say, "Oh, well, wizards are bad."
Yes, but before you can use that, you first have to establish who says Gandalf is Jesus.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's bullshit. Everybody says Gandalf is an angel or an archangel. That's the equivalent.
Okay.
You seek after Jesus Christ, you're not... But again...
You're lying!
You see this whole thing here of Tolkien stealing from Nordic mythology.
It's not stealing.
Okay, I don't think that there's anything else in here I'm going to show.
Nordic mythology, if you find Satanic by.
Motherfucker, you're in the middle of your presentation. Shouldn't you have all this noted down already if you're going to be going for 50 minutes?
This guy's pathetic.
You have how many books? You got the main three. You got the Silmarillion. You got the Hobbit. You got your Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings. You got your Finding God and Lord of the Rings. You got Walking with Frodo. And now
you
you
Codex
got...
Magica.
Yeah, and you got your Nordic myth book now. And you got your references for the tarots. How many books is that? Like, it has to be above 10. And you're sitting here filtering through them by hand. Like you're trying to find a specific quote from your favorite book. Fuck off.
This is hubris. He thinks of himself so high that he doesn't need a script for something so complicated. So he thought he's good enough to do it by hand. And he is clearly nervous, he's in over his head, and he doesn't even bother doing a second take.
Well, he couldn't even
realizing his folly and trying again properly.
He couldn't even put bookmarks or post-it notes in the book to reference when he was going to present. It's like, dude, why are you like he went through that pamphlet with the DVD to find a map, and it's like what are you doing?
And somebody this insecure is so sure about what he knows. Knows with a big G, by the way.
It's an emotional reaction, because if all you're going to do is say, well, this is satanic and this is pagan, blah blah blah, like, and your point is what? So what if some of it is or isn't? What does that mean? That Tolkien's message is hail Satan? Like, what do you like? What's your point? What does this amount to, aside from you don't like Tolkien because it reminds you of your flavor of the devil that no one else believes? This is a made-up problem that he's researching and trying to prove, and all he's doing is name-calling. This wonderful straw man. Anyway, this is going nowhere. I'm just going to say he's going to keep doing this for minutes and minutes on end. So we'll go to 15 minutes because this is useless to us.
You know, a lot of this stuff in through here, but it's funny. You know, they have all these different things here. Here you have the. Let me back out a little bit here. The index.
Your button did nothing.
The different holidays: fall equinox, November Eve, also known as Samhain, Halloween. There, May 1st. There, the Maypole, the sexual phallic ceremony that is.
What?
Summer solstice, Lammas.
It's a spring festival, just like Easter. You know, it's a fertility festival. That's why you have bunnies and eggs. There's fertility symbols.
Eggs were what broke Lent.
What?
For Christians?
Yeah.
Eggs are part of Easter for breaking Lent.
Blessing of the baskets.
If it needs be, all right. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm starting to not care anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm already done.
It's all so messed up. It's so intertwined. It's hard to tear apart. And now we got all this neo-pagan Wicca bullshit that just spams it all with all their bullshit interpretations. And you're looking for historical shit, and you can barely find it anymore, because all you get when you search the internet is this Wicca bullshit, and that pretends to be the actual stuff. It's horrible. I hate these people.
Okay.
Winter solstice with Yule and Satan Claus. Mm-hmm.
What?
Also, Christmas is satanic.
Satan Claus?
So Saint Nicholas is Satan. Got it.
Satan. He actually said it. Satan Claus. That's what he said.
There's so
Christmas
many...
is evil. Christmas is satanic. Awesome.
There's so many Catholic religions that celebrate Christmas, and they have their own version of Saint Nicholas. They're all heathen.
The guy who went out of his way to bring children
Fruit
in winter, poor children, to bring them some nice thing. Wow.
This man just thinks that everything is satanic.
What is Christian?
The King James Bible.
Literally just the King James Bible minus the epistles of Paul.
Oh. Get snuck in there, I guess. Oh, dude. This guy is worse than a rabbi. Like, a rabbi will argue with other rabbis and come to consensus of some kind.
And then Mom will at least pull out his fucking shoes and threaten to throw it at you.
This guy's like, I'm right, everything else is evil and going to burn. You're like, oh, okay.
Is he one of these people who just complains about everything being wrong and evil but never says what's right?
Well, yeah, this is kind of like Sarkeesian when she's saying everything is sexist, everything is racist, I have to point it all out. Only he's coming from a religious perspective, going, well, this is the true religion. Everything else is wrong, clearly. And I gotta point out every single pagan who writes a fictional story based off other inspirations, which is basically anything of creativity of mankind. They're inspired by everything else.
That would put him up with Gnostic Hermeticists, Hegelians, and all of that stuff, who who just never say what they actually want, that they never give a positive definition. They only give negative definitions of, oh, the true thing is not that thing, not that thing, not that thing, not the thing you are doing. And not this other thing that allegedly is part of my belief, that's also not my belief.
Yeah, I really want to know what this guy would see as a fantasy, like, because you could write fantasy. There's nothing wrong with writing fantasy. What would he say? Like, I would write a fantasy novel or trilogy, whatever, that is not satanic. What would that look like? I really want to know, because it sounds as if you can't.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Like, what would he do? What creatures would he create that aren't demonic or aren't based off cultures from thousands of years ago prior to Catholicism or Christianity? Like, what would look good in his eyes? Because it seems like nothing would appease him. Everything's based off some pagan thing, and that's bad. Like, you can't, like, there's nothing wrong with the cultural histories of festivals that we've had. We've incorporated, I mean, we're talking about the Stoics back in the day and incorporating Catholicism, how Italy became what it is today. They incorporated all their culture into their religion. And they had all these feast days, all these festivals, everything celebrating life, having the community come together, come out of their houses and sharing their produce and cooking together. We still have those giant, long, connected dinner tables. I don't know if you've ever seen a traditional, well, not really traditional, but a small town Italian festival where everyone just eats right outside together on this gigantic long table. And they still have those. One of the most famous is the Feast Day of San Giuseppe, one of the biggest ones that I think most of Italy celebrates. And that's one day of the year. There's dozens. They have all these feasts, and it's all about their religion and their community. And they're beautiful. There's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing satanic about them. Sharing with your community.
I think Space Junk put it perfectly. Everything is sin. Everything is heretical. Everything is blasphemy, and you have to point it all out.
Oh no! It's the 80s all over again with the American right. What were they? They were against music. They were against. Oh God, what was it? I'm trying to remember.
I think that was mostly televangelists.
I know, but that was like the Reagan period where late 70s, early 80s.
The satanic panic.
Yeah, it feels like it's like that, but this guy is like more hardcore. And instead of listening to like
I think he's just on the level
Rob
of it.
Zombie backwards, it's like just, oh, look at this culture, they're evil. Look at that culture, they're evil. Oh, here's Tolkien writing about these cultures. How unoriginal. He's also evil. Like, what? Okay. Like, what's next? Like, chocolate ice cream is evil because it's not pure vanilla or something? Like, what? It's weird shit.
Equinox with Easter, Ishtar, Astarte.
No, those are not related.
So,
You're an
and then
idiot.
they go into the thing in here of preparing wood for, selecting a tree
For
to
what?
make your runes and everything else. And then you can make them from natural materials or whatever else you want. And then these runes supposedly have magical powers, and you can cast the runes and you can do all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's never.
And interestingly,
There are Hebrews who believe that their letters have magical powers if you arrange them in the right way, and that there's numerology going along.
Yeah,
It's super crazy stuff.
yeah. We've never seen that in Catholicism or Jesuit practices. Never seen that ever. No, we don't have that at all, guys.
Christians don't do that.
No,
Totally.
no.
It
prayer.
never happened. Never happened.
They never pray. Praying is just this thing that has no influence on anything. There's no magic involved. Writing down words that can create life out of stone. That's nothing. That doesn't exist. Never happened.
book here. Here we have a.
That you can grab
this
instantly.
Is a decent book, but let me just show you some of the brainwashing that goes on here. Concise Dictionary of the Occult and New Age by Deborah Lardy and Don Liu and Paul Ingram. Okay.
Okay, real quick. I looked away. Did he just pull that shit off his shelf?
Yeah.
Yes, he knew exactly where to grab it from. He couldn't find anything in his notes that's worthy of telling, but he could grab instantly some obscure book from
We've
his
been
shelf.
sitting here for at least 3 minutes waiting for him to fetch this fucking book at the end. Wow!
So
No shit, this series is like 3 hours long.
brainwashing.
It takes him 3 hours to find his fucking notes.
Well, they were originally on the table, and then he realized he wanted to
They're still on the table.
bring
We
more.
can see them.
All right, brainwashing in something. I don't know what he's talking about.
We got to
Pretty good.
15 minutes.
A lot of these, like I said, a lot of these entries are actually pretty good.
Such as?
But I'm just going to show you here the mindset of some people.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so doing false equivalences again. Okay, and guilt by association, false association.
People who read books are
Projection much?
brainwashed.
Okay, rune.
Uh-huh.
Ancient alphabet characters of Northern European peoples, often thought to have magical significance. Rune alphabets included the 32-letter Anglo-Saxon, the 16-letter Scandinavian, and the 24-letter Teutonic. Runic characters tend to be mostly of straight lines.
Where did the Teutonics come from? Do you know?
You want to talk about the Teutonic Order?
I wonder where that comes from. Anyway.
You want to talk about who founded those guys? What they was founded to fight against?
Spell it out. We have an audience.
Oh, right. So the Teutonic Order was founded to fight against the invading, barbarians from the east. And then it was sent out, well, they basically founded their own kingdom against the pagans.
Yeah, it's seeped in religion, but we're not going to go there anyway.
Yeah, it's also the runes first are for writing. The magic stuff is secondary. Because every letter has a meaning.
All right, here's Legacy. Thanks for the super chat. I may be the one who has a distaste for magic, but even I could accept runes and writing on the walls, plus the symbols are cool. You know what? When you make a religion, you make a language, an entire story of people in a whole magical realm, and you create, I think there was did Tolkien use 5 or 6 languages? I know he made like 12 or 15 or whatever languages, but he used like 5 or 6 specifically to Middle Earth of all the various races. You combine that with actual words, and if it's fantasy, you can do magic, you can do mysticism, you can do prayers, you can do music. There's so many pieces of music and poems in his writing. You are going to be entertained if you like reading long, big epics. So I don't think people go, oh, runes, oh, paganism, oh my God, that's disgusting. Like, no, they see this as a form of entertainment, taking on many permutations, written by a very intelligent fellow who planned it out, which is
and just put the Cyrillic alphabet next to that, put the Greek alphabet next to that. This is just one form of a long process of where letters moved from Egypt all the way up here through several iterations, several pathways. That's just the simple thing of it. If you attribute magic to anything, like if you find the symbols cool, just look at the Greek alphabet. There's also tons of cool symbols. We use them in our magic incantations called physics and chemistry, you know? Math.
I guess he doesn't like the Teutonic ones because they're Catholic, of course.
And they're still being used by, the Greeks.
All right. Well, we could stop right here because this is he went.
No. He's going fun.
I want to see what his actual point is before we end.
This is a dictionary definition. Like, what is he doing? This is stupid. Anyway,
I think he's just gonna continue on.
oh.
Just say this and then continue on to something else.
This is a random other book about balloons. Like, oh my God, they're satanic.
You could make the exact same argument about hieroglyphs.
Okay.
Which are easier for stone. These alphabets were in use at the time of Christ and did not fall into extinction until the end of the Middle Ages. Okay, now, if you study the whole thing about runes, basically witches have been using these things for centuries.
Witches? Where? Where
What would
exactly?
this-
Do you know how many people you're calling witches that have absolutely no clue of runes?
The Catholics, the Christians of St. Mary in
Oh,
Jerusalem,
Oh God.
the Holy Land of the Baltics. Like, yeah,
They can
how
use
far
them,
back
and
do we
different
go?
runes have different powers to tell if you're going to have wealth or if you're going to have love or whatever. And you see a lot of these modern,
It's very
you know,
simplistic thinking.
professing Christians like Michael W. Smith. He puts runic letters into his name on some
Oh,
of his
no.
different albums.
Oh, wow.
And his Christmas album, you know, he has a rustic chair he's standing on, and it's a runic M, and he's standing there doing this. I think it's like the T.
A runic
Waz or
M chair.
or
Oh, no.
something where he's doing like a arrow shape, like a T with the two arms bent down. You know, Rick Warren. There's a picture of him floating upside down.
What does
in
that mean?
A swimming pool, and he's got his arms in the down.
You
We-
fucking
we are
idiot! Have
done.
you ever been? Have you
We are
ever
finished.
swam on your back? Have you
Forget
ever
this
been
guy.
in water and just floated on
This
your
is
back?
retarded. This is
This is
so
literally just a
stupid.
film upside down.
He's
You are
swimming.
beyond stupid.
This is
Therefore,
the
he's
most asinine
Wow.
thinking that I've heard.
Fucking bumpkin.
This is not.
Remember,
This
guys,
is not
if you-
even the final minutes of insanity. This is just not even the halfway point.
Guys-
And
You guys have-
he interprets somebody swimming on his back as this is a runic symbol. It means Satanism. Like, fuck.
No, it's even better
you
that
have schizophrenic.
it
You have a
implies
schizoid disorder.
it implies that he read the part in which Jesus walks on water and went, right, we're never meant to submerge ourselves in water.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise we do satanic symbols like this,
yeah.
trying to stay upwards.
He would be arguing that the T poses in broken games on launch are I don't know against Jesus because it's the Christian pose of God or whatever. It's like dude, like, come on, give it a rest. This is so ignorant and ridiculous.
This is amazing.
I know we can keep going, but I just don't.
This
want
is a great high point.
yeah. If this was the thumbnail, I'll be happy. Like, this is a happy guy who's crucified in water, and he's actually ritualistic.
I bet he has something about the light reflections there.
God. Oh, no more.
You give up?
Yeah, no, we're done.
Man, what a find! What a find!
Here
Holy!
is our wonderful memes, and someone found the King James version. Pause. It was kind of blurry, but yeah, that looks like he. I don't know. Maybe he had like Banner Mania back in the day, and he printed it out, and he cut the paper to glue it on the cover. King James KJV. Yeah, this is scary.
This makes a good emote.
When you said mysticism, Smud, did you mean it like this? Mysticism is popularly known as becoming one with God. No. It might be. That could be one definition, but no, I'm referring to magical practices of ancient culture. Mike,
A strange definition.
burn in hell.
This is what this motherfucker reminds me of. He reminds me of fucking Mozgus.
Yeah.
He's literally Mozgus. He's so blind with what the fuck he believes. He ends up he comes off as a prick. He is a prick with this shit.
Yeah, if he was talking to other Protestants, I guess, or whoever he goes to church, if he goes to church at all, they would hate him. They'd be like, "You hate people. Like, why are you?
Do you?
So weird."
You've heard of the story of Jesus chasing out the taxman out of the church with a whip, right? I imagine that's how they treat this fucker every time he stepped inside of a holy place. They just start throwing rocks at him.
Oh dear. Well, he actually does burn books in his other videos as well. So I don't know if he does it in this one, but he does.
Wait, does he burn them on screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Actual book burner. Fuck me. He this is the kind of guy that would only shake hands with Adolf Hitler at the height of German Nazism.
Does
Where
he
we
burn the
go-
Quran?
Oh boy, that's
It's a good question.
that'll be a mess.
What's his view on the Quran? Come on, Reborn Barbarian. What's your take on the Quran?
How about the Vedas or the Bhagavad Gita or anything that's non-Germanic?
Well, that's obvious. That's non-Abrahamic.
Yeah. All right. This is good. Only start creating a lore after you already finished half of the series and keep adding stuff a decade after finishing it. Okay. Rolling. Steal 90% of your deep lore from real-life history and other authors to fill out your world map. Okay. For the map, I could understand that. A lot of it is his own in creation, but he was inspired by many wars over the years. And then we have Tolkien. Create an entire universe with a bloody theological history with hundreds of characters and dozens of devastating wars, then write a children's book in it. That's great. The way it should be done. Real children read Tolkien. Okay.
That's how you ensure there are no logical inconsistencies.
Okay.
That's what you want your dungeon master to do when he's world building your campaign, where you never go where he wants you to go.
Here is a great quote from Tolkien. But certainly, I mean, many people apply it to a nuclear and ring, particularly to the nuclear bomb, don't they? They think that was in mind is that the whole thing is an allegory of it, but it isn't. Yeah, I remember him referring to nuclear war and the power of the
that was an interviewer, a very aggressive interview of mine, and I actually appreciate that interviewed him about the point of the ring, where I was like, okay, well, what was the reason you built a world this big and this elaborate? What was the reason for it? And he just shrugs.
Yeah,
because I could.
This was during the 20s he wrote it?
Because I'm awesome and you're an imbecile.
Was it during the 20s or the 40s he wrote? I'm quite sure it was the 20s.
He was writing the bases in the trenches. He was writing the basis of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He was writing Baron and Luthien at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in that interview, he does ask, so the ring is kind of like the A-bomb, and then no matter what kind of person used it, it always ends up corrupting the person. Like, you can't use it correctly, essentially. And Tolkien goes, well, I started writing it long before the A-bomb ever became a thing. But it was funny enough only after its introduction that people started comparing it to the A-bomb.
All right.
And this video just goes, right.
Well, this is yours. You should drop that satanic LOTR and read the KJV, which has no poisoning, gore, or murder in it. Oh, wait. It does have that. It does have all that and a lot more. Flood stories, destroying entire cities.
Genociding children.
Telling fathers to kill their kids on a whim.
On a mountaintop.
Overnight in general, everywhere.
Thanks guys. Mike again. C.S. Lewis secret. Oh God, this sounds like a.
This
Maggie,
has to be a joke.
It sounds like a Maggie May Fish video or something.
This guy's awesome. He's not as entertaining, but he is entertaining.
Oh. Me.
He's not. The thing is, Maggie is happy crazy. He's not happy crazy.
Oh yeah, he wants to like burn.
No.
People.
He's brooding crazy.
A fitting quote for this video: "Don't believe everything you read." That's pretty close. I think there's a bit more, but yeah, that's a good start. There's more of him. Virgin, 1 second, need to find the satanic imagery. Chad, you're a satanic demon in disguise of a man. Die. Good Lord.
I was looking for the image where Alex Jones is like, I got a meme here. Kind of lost it in my files, but man, does say it all. Because it has that same vibe of just, man, you need to prepare for this. When he's just going, give me a second, I need to find the demonic imagery.
Yeah, I was a second I was thinking of it was New Vegas intro. But it is actually InfoWars guy. All right. Hey, there's from our wonderful Bacon Man. Thank you, sir. Does the KJV Bible teach racism? Part 2.
2 hours. He's rambling about that for 2 hours. Wow.
This man is a rabbit hole.
Wow.
All right, who's gonna go on the great pilgrimage, the satanic pilgrimage, to find out what this guy actually fucking believes?
The Sisyphus experience?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm just glad nobody made the reading slip meme. Thank you.
Oh, the Copperell. Thank you, sir. This guy would hate me. I mix Lovecraft and Christian. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not go over well.
It's
I
difficult just to describe the angels.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, if he describes Tolkien like one of the most pure Christian authors from our times as burning in hell, fuck me!
Jesus Christ.
I wonder what is a good Christian author.
Just play Bayonetta. It mixes Christian, Lovecraft, and Nordic.
Well, I joked about before what would he consider good, but I want to know just any author who's Christian or Catholic or whatever denomination he prefers. What would they write as a whole, not fantasy or any other genre, just anything? What would they write that this guy would be like, yeah, this is good. I can accept this. I'm very curious, because if you imagine like writing I don't know, a Chinese novel about Shintoism, not Shintoism. Well, actually, yeah, just choose Shintoism from Japan. Would he approve of that, or be like, no, that's heathen, that must be burned, or whatever? Like, you can't talk about other cultures, you can't talk about other religions, you can't talk about other historical periods.
He's like the Islamists who destroy Buddha statues.
Oh, really?
And ancient ruins of bygone empires, because everything must look like there was only ever Islam. He's the same guy. He's the same thing for his very weird version of Christianity.
And this is kind of funny, because we talk about the wokeism that's been pervading our time the past 7 years,
which is doing the same thing,
which is its own
destroying
religion,
all culture to replace it with itself, so that it looks like there was only ever communism,
and tearing down statues and changing the names of frickin' subways and all kinds of other things because they might be related to something that is not so good these days, because they could have owned slaves or they could have killed someone,
while setting up new statues of Karl Marx.
Really?
That is happening here. That is happening here.
Wow.
I found out what he is.
What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Independent fundamental Baptist Catholicism.
What
What
Baptist?
the fuck is this mumbo jumbo?
How does a Baptist go
Baptist
crazy like this?
Catholicism.
Motherfucker hates himself. That explains a lot about his videos now.
You know how liberal the Baptists are? What the hell? What is he talking like? How did he go crazy?
Yeah.
Also, I found the video I was referring to. He has that same energy of just clueless.
The only one lost here is him, I fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go relax. I'm still a bit sick, but thank you for introducing us to this wonderful YouTuber.
We're going to be seeing you tomorrow.
If we ever need a
topic.
Well, no.
A filler?
No. Because we usually cover crazy people on the left, right? This guy is just a bonkers religious type of some denomination, Baptist, which is, I have to read up on that. But if we ever need a nice palate cleanser between the leftists, this is a great way to do it. So, yeah, which is not related to anime or Marvel or Disney. It's just this crazy bonkers dude who's just going, everyone should burn if you're not reading this Bible.
If you're not believing exactly what I believe.
Which is open to interpretation, because he seems to be pretty literal on some of the references, which is what you don't do.
Also, Generic Shooter said that he had a book, but I can't find it for the life of me.
Okay. Well, I need to go relax. It's really warm this week. This has been the hottest day so far, so I hope you guys are having a great end of your week. Take
It's
it
really
easy.
cool here.
Oh, yeah? Okay, it's like 31 right now, so.
Oh, we're down to 17.
Oh, whoa. Oh, that's good. I wish it was cooler. But thank you guys for this wonderful video. You guys have a great end of your week, and we will talk to you soon, I hope. Thanks for Mr. Bacon for popping in. I appreciate having you on again. It's been a while. So
Yes.
Bacon Man.
Bacon Man. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
See, I'm telling you, it's the Pepsi Man jingle.
Pepsi Man.
He serves hot flaming bacon in the morning. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good soup.
And it sends you straight to hell for consuming Pepsi.
Oh no, it's not blessed by the Baptists.
No, you fry it in Pepsi.
Oh my God, no.
You're supposed to boil Pepsi, you know.
With fire and brimstone. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.